we can get rid of all the crime in America overnight, just like that. And people ask how, Attorney Crump, change the definition of crime.
Of course.
If you get to define what conduct is going to be made criminal, you can predict who the criminal is going to be.
It sounds like we're criminal, though.
Yeah.
Our existence
No,
is
the culture.
criminal.
But they made the laws
They
that way.
make the law to criminalize our culture.
To fit us.
Black culture. I mean, and so when I think of Eric Garner, I always think of stuff like that. Lucy cigarettes.
I did nothing. We sitting here the whole time, minding our business. What are you talking about? You watch me do what? Who did I sell cigarette to? Don't touch me, please.
Came over.
Not touch me.
Guy lost his life. Man.
Yeah, and then George Floyd was trying to buy cigarettes and so forth. So you have to think about the profiling things that they come up with, the profilers for pretextual reasons. And it happens every day, Al. They will come and say, you can't wear baggy pants.
Right.
Make that a crime.
Right.
You can't have milk cartons in your yard.
Right.
Make that a crime.
Right.
Stuff to come and mess with black people about, because once they have the interaction, the confrontation, then it just snowballs from there. They find other things.
And we've
to,
seen it, the violent repercussions, but 2022 had the highest recorded number of police killings ever on record.
Right.
And we weren't marching the way we were marching. All the reforms that were supposed to happen,
Didn't
but we had a
happen.
record number in 2022.
Didn't happen.
The reforms failed, the reforms not make it. Why are we where we are?
Because you got to have movements, not moments. And that's what I said when we was in the thick of Trayvon, George Floyd, is that everybody gets mad for a moment. And we don't even want to deal with the traditional organization. If you do not have traditional organizations lined with those young folk so that those moments turn into movements, they just go right back. They just say, let it pass. And once it passes, it's gone.
What's going on, everyone? Stars Queen here today. We're going to be analyzing this video with Ben. I believe the attorney name is Ben Crump and Al Sharpton, and they're talking about essentially this concept that I've been railing against since I started this channel, honestly, is this idea that because of your race, you have an alibi. Oh, you're criminalizing my culture. Huh? Is stealing part of black culture? Robbing people part of black culture? Homicide is part of black culture? Like, where did they get these ideas from? Right? And I love the cherry picking that they do in this video with the Staten Island guy. And the funny part is, I've been making the arguments that democratic lawmakers, democratic legal systems are some of the most corrupt systems in our country. And all the examples they brought up in that video, in that clip, were from democratic strongholds. Minnesota, Staten Island, which is in New York, heavily liberal, heavily Democrat. And then I have it validated even from a conservative point of view with the prosecution with Trump. They created a law so Trump can get charged with sexual assault by that Egan Carroll lady. The Egan Carroll lady didn't have a case until New York legal system decided, oh, we're gonna change the definition of things, which is what Ben Crump is advocating for. Do not hold the people accountable for breaking the laws. Change the laws to account for the people. Ridiculous. Black on black crime is has the biggest impact on the black community. We kill each other at a disproportional rate. 36% of black people are victims of violent crime. Who commit most crimes against black people? Another black person, a black perpetrator, a black criminal. Is this idea that and the funny part is, and this is the funny part about Ben Crump and Al Sharpton, they stereotype black people more than any other racist white guy can ever do, because majority of black people aren't criminals. So when they're talking about getting pulled over, breaking laws, doing all this stuff, majority of black people can't relate. But because of our skin color, we're supposed to feel sorry for people who do break the laws. Laws are societal standards that we all must abide by. And this idea that, oh, it's because of our skin color, oh, it's because they're changing laws to attack our culture, I think that's a lie. Our behavior decides our outcomes. You decide to break the law? Okay, name me laws that you think was a bad one. And then this idea, oh, George Floyd was only going there to get chips. Look, George Floyd was a criminal. Look, that's the reality. He was a criminal. He tried to give someone fraudulent money. The person saw it was fraudulent money and called the police. Police always responds to stuff. It's not like you act like this man was profiled, he was followed by the police, and then they decided to start something with him. No, he did something. He broke the law. He tried to essentially steal from somebody, and the person called the cops on him. It's like this is this idea in the, and I don't know, I don't think this is black culture. I think this is race hustler culture. There's this idea that because of people's skin color, they shouldn't be held accountable for anything. And it's a form of tribal politics. And it's starting to annoy me. People in my comment section, in my video with the comedian when he's making fun of George Floyd, black people are sensitive again. They're back in my comment section again. But I don't care. This needs to be said. Tough love is necessary now. And I think we've been calling people too much. You see these people, they call themselves black men of America. They're not representative of me. When they're going to have a representative of me in there? Black people always talking about how representation matters, but they don't have the opposite perspective ever on these shows. It's always liberal, democratic black men. That's it. They exclude the rest of them. And they know there's a lot of black men that are trending towards the Republican Party. They know there's a lot of black men that are conservative, yet they don't want to show it off. Between black women, if it was black women of America, that panel makes sense because black women are like 94% Democrat. But in the black men, it's like 77%. That means there's a large portion of black men, a significant portion of black men that are not Democrat, but they don't have their voices represented. They want to press this narrative that, oh, all black people think like this. It's starting to get annoying. But before, I want to show you guys a clip about like Tim Pool talking with Larry Elder about this concept of people thinking that all black people are the same. And I think it's rooted in racism, but this is what progressives push. This is what happens when you see color. You're making yourself a racist. And this is why I believe the colorblind society is the best society. Because you judge people more on just skin color. At least you put race last. These people put race first. And that's all that matters. If a black person commit the crime, they want him to be absolved of the crime. If a white person commit the crime, they want him to get punished at the full extent of the law. This is what I'm saying. This society, it cannot stand with these different racial standards. These racial expectations that people have. Oh, he's a black man. He can't help but come late. Like your behavior is decided by your race. Right? We used to think in the past when these genetic determinists used to come out and say, "Oh, because you're born black, you're doomed to be dumber than white folks." There used to be that idea, genetic determinism. Now we're using the very same talking points of genetic determinism to say that, oh, this is the reason why black people come late. This is why the reason why black people can't be successful, because the laws are not catered to their genetic disposition. These people are treating being born black as a handicap. And it's sad to say, it's sad to see that this is how people think so low of themselves. I don't think that way about myself. Maybe that's my problem. But hey, I'm gonna push a different message. I believe if your butt is going to jail, if you getting confronted by the cops, it's because you're doing something wrong. And I like the last part. How the guy's like, oh, we had record black men getting killed by cops, but he didn't say the number. The number's like 20, 12, 19. People are going to be like, oh, only 19 black men? It'll destroy their whole narrative. That's why he don't get specifics. And this is how you know someone's trying to condition you or trying to get you to think a certain way. I need specifics, sir. And I know the specifics. Oh, only 19 black men died at the hands of cops. That don't sound like a big number. It'll destroy their whole little narrative about, oh my God, the cops are going out here killing black men. But I digress. I'm done making sense now. Let's go into this next clip, and then I'll follow up with a tweet from a fellow black conservative. Let's take a look.
There's this thing that goes on in like the critical social justice movement and stuff is they want to think about their blackness first. And it's like they forget that they're people. It's like these are normal people things to do. Finding out where in the city a building is not some massive challenge. The idea that a whole entire race can't find an address.
Well, look.
It's so offensive.
I think about what these Berkeley kids must think of the average intellect of a black person who can't figure out what a building is a few blocks away. I mean, it's a white supremacist idea. And people could not find a building.
I'm on the campaign. I announced before Tim Scott did. Tim Scott announces. I get a phone call from a reporter. You and Tim Scott are both black Republicans. What distinguishes you from Tim Scott? I said in 2016, when Donald Trump announced it, you say, you are both white Republicans. What distinguishes you from Jeb Bush? And she was quiet for 15 seconds. She said, point made.
But she's not sorry she asked.
Right,
She said
right,
point made, but she's going to ask it again.
Well,
the
she,
next
she,
time it
she withdrew
happens.
the question, so I didn't.
I mean,
What distinguishes you
would've-
from Tim Scott?
I would have trolled her relentlessly. Like, I would have just started.
I said I'm better looking.
No, I mean, I would have just started. I would just say a bunch of self-deprecating racist things. Like, is that what you wanted to hear?
It's ridiculous.
No, it's crazy, but I do think that they ultimately race as at the forefront of a progressive mind always. And they are always, because they are all, I think, whether it's they hate themselves because they're
It's by
guilt,
design.
it's whatever it is, they ultimately use that to say, well, everything I've heard that is a stereotype about another race that could potentially be perceived negatively, I have to make sure I'm on guard against it at all times. Which is way worse.
What you're describing is the result of people being taught critical race theory. Critical race theory in and of itself is not ideas. Critical race theory is a way to approach the world. It is seeing race before anything else. So when we were arguing, oh, we don't want to teach kids critical race theory, we weren't arguing, oh, you don't want kids to know history or know that there are different types of people, different colored people in America or whatever. It is, we don't want people to have the illiberal view that race comes before the human being.
I gotta read this.
I agree with that sentiment, man. Like, it's starting to get ridiculous, man. And I want to drop the quote. Look, this is a Thomas Sowell quote. I probably put it up on the screen. Have we reached the ultimate stage of absurdity where some people are held responsible for things that happened before they were born, while other people are not held responsible for what they themselves are doing today? And this is Black America. This is what Black America is doing in general, at least the criminals, is that we make excuses for the bad actors of our society. We don't want to hold our own accountable, but then when the laws hold our people, the criminals from our community, accountable, we want to cry, oh, it's racism. We're being unfairly targeted. Well, you weren't saying that when your people, the criminals in your group are disproportionately targeting everyone else. Disproportionately victimizing you. But no one says anything. No. This is this racial tribalism that I'm talking about. This is the ideas that critical race theory pushes. This is why I say critical race theory is garbage. I'm never teaching my kids this crap. And I'll stand on that. Al Sharpton, I agree with you on one thing, is about movements. And I agree. I want to start a counter movement because I'm tired now. This racial division, it cannot stand. This country cannot stand being this way. Seeing each other by race. I'll put it up on the screen. The basic elements of critical race theory. Racial essentialism. That's what it is. Race is the most important thing about you. These are the tenets of critical race theory. Tell me I'm lying. Blood guilt. Individuals are responsible for the past and present acts of other people simply because they share the same race. So based on this idea, if a black criminal killed somebody, all black people are inculpated in that because we're all black. This is the same concept. And don't get mad at me, black liberals, because this is stuff you guys are pushing. Okay? You say you do the same thing with white people. Oh, because people who share the same skin as them, people of the same race as them, used to enslave people that you used to look like. I'm sorry, you look like. Now they're all implemented in slavery. Imagine if white people put the same narrative on us. Oh, interracial crimes. 85% of interracial crimes are black on white. That means black people harm white victims at 85% clip. More than white criminals victimize black victims. So based on that logic, white people can go, oh, black people are inherently criminals. Just like you go, white people are inherently racist. Y'all both being racist there, but for some reason, society, we allow black people to be racist, but we don't allow white people to be racist. And in me, I call it down the middle. I say, hey, y'all both being racist right here. This is the blood guilt narrative that critical race theory push. Tribal politics. Individuals must band together in race tribes to take political action. I don't believe in that. I believe my tribal politics is based more on ideas. I believe as a black man, if I'm a Christian and I met a white Christian and I met a black atheist, I'll have more in common with the white Christian than the black atheist. Because skin color doesn't determine anything. I'm from Haiti. This person's from Africa. We don't relate. We have different cultures. Is this idea, and this is the funny part in the intro. With Ben Crump and Al Sharpton, they have this perception that black culture is like someone like they're talking about their culture, not black culture. They're talking about their culture. African American, Black American culture. That's what they're talking about. They don't recognize there's other cultures, there's other aspects of black culture. And Nigerians seem to do well in this country. Nigerians don't seem to be in as much trouble with crime as American-born African Americans. I'll say this again. What is the goal of all this? Because it seemed like a movement without any goal is not going to be a productive one. It seemed like the goal is to keep this race hustle going, to keep racial division so these people out here can still have status, fame, notoriety, relevance. Because I'll tell you this. If racism was not something that America was no longer concerned with, Al Sharpton will be out of a job. Ben Crump will be out of a job. The dude doing this show will be out of a job. They need racism to exist. So to me, that's a conflict of interest. But I digress. So I want to put up this tweet from Zeke Arkham. Right, I've been following him for a while. Al Sharpton and Ben Crump, two of the biggest race master baiters and hustlers out there, making black folks victims again. You know what I'm sick and tired of? Videos after video of black folks acting a fool. Black college expos where teenage black kids are acting out, screaming "F the police," not being able to walk around a housing project to see my aunt without having my gun in my jacket pocket. A conversation has to be had, but they ain't the people to have it with. So F. Al Sharpton, Ben Crump, Sean King, and every other person like them who needs racism to thrive so they can make money off of it. And this is the funny part about black Democrats, black voters, black people. They love to come on my channel, call me a grifter, call me, oh, you just talking Republican talking points. But they never put that same level of scrutiny, that same level of skepticism on Al Sharpton, Ben Crump, Sean King, who need racism. They literally need this thing to be a problem. They need this problem to exist so they can continue making money, continue being famous. But you don't call them grifters. Oh, Al Sharpton, you're only pushing this race narrative because you need to make money. You know that if racism doesn't exist anymore, you're going to lose out on your checks. You're going to lose out on your fame. Democrats are going to start calling. No one does that. No one does those talking points to Al Sharpton. But for a black conservative, all of a sudden they want to say that to us. Oh, you're in the Republican Party paying you. Oh man, look at you. Anything to make some money. It's the same thing with the comedian. Like black people, y'all need to wake up. Y'all ideological blind. That's what y'all are. Because majority of y'all Democrat. And like I said, the hardest thing to do is criticize your own side. So I know I know when you guys criticize me, it's merely political. You don't have any actual point or principle to stand on. All you're playing is tribal politics. Oh, this is my team. I got to defend my team. Let me call him a grifter. But Al Sharpton, he's the biggest grifter of them all. Had black people race rioting, attacking Jewish people, making y'all situation worse in Harlem. But y'all glorify the man. But little old me, giving an opinion, pushing back on this prevailing narrative that the black culture has, and all of a sudden I'm enemy number uno. Craziness. Look, man, black people, y'all in an echo chamber. I'm being real with y'all now. Y'all in an echo chamber because y'all don't hear opinions like mine a lot. I come from a political diverse family. Y'all ain't gonna come play this game. Oh, you got limited experience. No, I've been around y'all long enough. I know y'all. I know y'all well as the back of my hand. I know y'all. Y'all some emotional people. Y'all sit here pretend y'all so knowledgeable. Y'all not. Y'all operating off emotion. And Democrats know this. That's how they manipulate you. Every 4 years, they rile y'all up. They call everybody, they call their opposition or racist. It's the same playbook. Look at it every year. Go from Obama. Every single year, they do the exact same thing every 4 years. And y'all fall for it every single time. Except Trump, the only people who not really falling for it is black men. Black men are slowly going, nah, I'm good. Imagine they had to make a commercial to tell black women don't sleep with no black men if they're not voting for not voting. And you know what I mean by not voting. I told you to do Biden. At this point, the Democrat Party only really benefits black women. Don't really benefit black men. If you're a black man, if you're a Democratic black man, tell me what benefit you get from associating with the Democratic Party. If you make more money, they'll tax you like hell. It's not conducive to what men like to do. Men like to work for themselves. Men like to be entrepreneurial. Men like to take risk for a big payout. And if the Democratic Party is creating an incentive structure where they tax you heavily because you're a rich man, what incentive is there for you to push for? School choice is better for the black community than the current schools that we have today. the worst place to put a black kid. Black kids are already disadvantaged according to you guys. So if black kids are already disadvantaged, why you want to put them in the worst possible schooling option for them, which is public school? You put that same kid, you put the same kid and you put them in any other environment, they'll do better than if you put them in public school. But you want to keep throwing money at the public schools for what? To pay your administrators? Hustling, like it's hustling off of this emotionism is how black people get manipulated into doing things that don't even benefit them in the long term. Black people seem to want instant gratification at the expense of long-term pain. And that's what happened. War on poverty should be a lesson to all black people about how taking quick fixes, short-term gain for long-term losses at the expense of your future generations is a bad trade-off. And this is what we're doing. We're trying to repeat the cycle all over again. You get the payout. Oh, this is going to help single moms. We're going to finesse the system. Democrats let 10 years go by like this, and then boom, child support came because they're able to justify child support. Look at all these black men that's just abandoning their kids. Oh, y'all don't know about that. A black Democrat ain't gonna tell you that because the black Democratic policy is what created the incentives for black men to start abandoning their kids in the first place. Black women from being single moms by choice in the first place because they are incentivizing that behavior. Before war on poverty, black people used to see government handouts as, nah, I'm not the government's pet. That used to be the mentality in the black community. That used to be black culture. We nobody's pet. We don't need no payout. We do it for our damn selves. That used to be black culture. Now black culture is something else. But Ben Crump want to pretend that black culture has been the same since slavery. No. Culture changes. Culture values one thing, it stops valuing another. And all I'm asking is, hey, let's change black culture to something more productive that will actually give us success in the future. But that's just my thoughts as a black conservative. Let me hear yours in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate you guys for watching to the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.